Okay, well, good morning. Well, for me it's afternoon, but then again, anytime is morning for me. We're going to make our potato salad today. I'm making it on a smaller scale. I will give you the recipe to make it for a whole family, but it's just me. And of course I've got my apple and cinnamon going for that nice aroma. And I went ahead and washed my potatoes very, very well and cut off anything I didn't like. And I also go ahead and, hold on one moment, I get a little slight joy of this. You have to go ahead and stab each potato. And I already have. I just wanted to do it one more time, so that it cooks evenly. And you put them in the water, peeling and all. I don't know if you've ever tried to do this before, but it makes it so much easier to peel them when they're done. And you can go ahead and add a little salt to the water. I don't, but some people like it. And you just slowly cook them until when you take that magic knife I just had, and when you put it in, it should go in very easily. You don't want it too soft and smushy. But you just keep coming in and checking on it until it's nice and soft. Making sure sometimes you turn them, because one side can cook faster than the other. And of course we already set ourselves up last night with our eggs. And I don't even remember what we were cooking. But we got it done. So today we're going to make a potato salad. And this recipe, it has a Dutch. It comes from a Dutch recipe, but I've tweaked it to make it my own. But originally, this is a recipe that goes back to a heritage that belongs to my children. So, as soon as I figure out how to put my videos together, I'll actually post them. But until then, I'll just keep making them. We'll come back and check on this in a little bit and see. We got some aroma going there. I can smell it. It's time to turn it down and simmer. And wait for our potatoes to finish. Important lesson number 1. Do not leave your boiling potatoes unattended, because they will indeed run out of water and burn. However, I caught them in time, and they're nice and soft. Now what we're going to do is put them in a different pan, because if we put them in the other pan, the burn is going to come through. We're just going to want to cool them off, and then I'll show you how easily these things peel and cut. This is the easiest potato salad I have ever made. And then again, like I said, always remember, do not leave a boiling pot unattended. And if you have to, take a timer with you. So, here shortly, I'll show you about peeling them and how easy it is to put it together. Alright, well, while we're waiting, I got my potatoes. And I can't hold the camera still and do my potatoes at the same time. But I wanted to show you just how easily it just tears off. So there's no more of those times where you have to get out that potato peeler. It actually just falls off as you go to peel it. And honestly, I do not want to cut my own finger off here. And I do use very sharp knives. But I'm going to go ahead and peel these potatoes. And then I'm going to show you how I cut them up and put them in there. This is probably going to be one of the easiest potato salads you've ever made. And if you like the same kind of food I do, which some people like it to have Miracle Whip in it. And this is mayonnaise and sour cream. So I'm going to go ahead and do these up, and then I'll show you how I cut them. Okay, well, things don't always work out like we planned for them to. As you can see, my little egg there got messed up. You're going to wonder, why am I keeping the shells and the peels? Well, I'm going to show you in a minute. Because if you garden, there's no reason to throw this stuff in the garbage. And I will do a composting video. But this goes in the compost, and this I crush up and put outside around my plants. So, we're going to cube, and I have no idea how I'm going to do this. But what we're going to end up doing, and I'm probably going to have to stop the video, is you cube it. This is interesting. Okay, and then you just cut off the cubes. So you have yourself some nice bite-sized pieces. Do not overcook them to where they're mushy. You want them to have some kind of a nice texture to them, so it has a nice bite. But you're going to do your eggs the same way. You're going to score them in fourths, and then you're just going to cut them into cubes. And you're going to put it all into this bowl. And then we'll get to the sauce. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to hold my phone. So I'm going to have to do it and come back. Just wanted to show you, they're not exactly uniform, but they're just in small chunks. Nice little bite-sized pieces. I'm going to eat this. Besides, I wash my hands every time I touch a stupid phone anyway. So that's about the size of pieces that you want. And if you didn't do what I did and leave it unattended, when your potatoes are done, the easiest thing in the world is to put them in the sink and let cold water run over them. And the peels will actually fall away. So the way I did it was a little bit more difficult, but that's because I wasn't paying attention. And now I'm going to do the eggs. Okay, that's what your eggs should look like. Not totally falling apart, somewhat together, but in the same size pieces as your potato. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator, because I have to cut up some onions and some celery to put in here. I happen to like a lot of red onion in mine. You may not, but I do. So I'm going to get that out, and I'm going to show you about how much to put in. I used to make this for an entire family. An entire family that ate a lot. So I would do a dozen eggs, and I'd get a 5-pound bag of potatoes, and I'll pick out probably the bigger ones for dinners and use all the small ones for this. And for that, you need an entire jar of 32 ounce, I think it is, of Hellmann's mayonnaise. If you use any other mayonnaise, I cannot guarantee what your potato salad is going to taste like. And they call it Hellmann's here, and I forgot what it's really called in California. But that's the mayonnaise you have to use. And you're going to need sour cream. You're going to need a small tub of sour cream. I know somehow, some way, I'll be able to put up the recipe on here. But this one here I'm making as a small scale for myself. And I'm not going to eat that much potato salad. So you just have to kind of do it to scale. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator and get out my onion and get out my celery, and we'll go from there. I'm sorry, this is a part I just cannot miss, because this is important. There's no reason to throw this in the garbage, and I know most everyone eats ice cream. Don't say you don't. Anyway, anytime you get a bin of ice cream, like this one, yeah, I get this for myself. I always put my scraps in here, as long as there's no animal material in it, like butter, protein, stuff like that. I wouldn't put my eggshells in there. I put them in here. And it's nice, because I can just seal it up. There we go. And stick it back under my sink. And when it's full, I take it out to my compost bin. And I make excellent compost. So I'm going to go back to getting the vegetables and stuff out, but I wanted to take care of the dirty business first. Okay, this is about how much red onion and celery that I'm going to put into mine. And if you looked, I probably only have maybe 3 good-sized potato mass in there, and 3 eggs. But I really like the taste of this. Now I'm going to slice it very thin, and I'll show you when I'm done. And I remove all of the string I possibly can. or the compost bin, and cut this up also very, very, very small. I don't want the main thing you taste to be red onion, and I don't want the main taste that you taste to see celery. It's a combination of the flavors that kick off each other. So I'm going to cut it up and show you how I cut it up to put it into mine. You might like yours chunkier. I don't. Okay, now this is about the consistency I like. You know, because I did add a little bit more celery. And as you could tell, I really like my onion. Now I'm going to go ahead and go get my my chopping. I could have run this through a food processor, but I was just trying to show you. But I'm going to go ahead and get my butcher knife so I can go cut this up really fine. And then we're going to go ahead and try to make our sauce. Okay. Well, I told you it's imperative that you use Hellmann's mayonnaise. And I think it's called Best Foods in California. That is not something you can skimp on. But the sour cream, anything will do, really. Because I just had to go borrow some from my neighbor. And you don't need a whole lot. Now normally, I gotta shake up the mustard. Normally you just use regular mustard. But I happen to like a little spice to my food. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some spicy brown mustard. But you're not gonna add that much. You're just adding just a little for taste. And my rule of thumb when I salt, and I only use Lawry's salt, is make sure that I cover it. Pretty good layer. Not too much because you don't want it too salty. And the pepper. Did you know that pepper used to be a big commodity? And you know what? I'd be one of those people paying for it. Now we're going to mix up that. So you got your sour cream and your mayonnaise and your salt and pepper and your Lawry's. And you want to mix this up really good before you put in your potatoes and your eggs. And I don't know where you live or what your circumstances are, but where I live, especially this time of year, is when the gnats start to come. So right now, my onions and celery and potatoes and eggs are in the refrigerator. And anything else that could be out that I'm not working on at the time, I'll stick it in the microwave and just leave it in there and remember that it's in there. So that, because I don't want bugs in my food. And I don't want them even landing on my food or near my food. I'm a germaphobe, I will admit. Anyway, so now that we got this all mixed up pretty nicely, thoroughly, I use a bigger bowl than I plan to keep it in because it's easier to mix. So I'm going to go get the rest of our stuff and we're going to go ahead and put our potato salad together. Alright, another thing I failed to mention that is very important is clean as you go. So when you're done, go ahead and wash it off. Put it on the other side of the sink. Put your compost material in your compost bin. Put your stuff back in the refrigerator. And that way, when you're done, you don't have a big mess to clean up. Now I wish this was glamorous, but it's not. You simply, and I'm sure I'm going to have to stop this to get the rest of it off. Dump it in there. Now I'm going to stop this so I can get the rest of that in there because I want that red onion in there. Hold on. Okay, much better. Get a big spoon. Make your life easier. Let's see if I can get a bigger, better shot on this. And start just working it in. Don't worry about smashing anything up. It's the nature of the beast. And you're going to notice this may not be as soupy as it normally is, but it's going to be a little soupy. And you want that because unfortunately, you're not going to be eating this today. Some people add olives. I never really cared for that. So I don't. But mine will end up being very saucy in the beginning. And I may want to add just a tad bit more sauce. And you let this sit overnight in the refrigerator, and I will go ahead and pull it out tomorrow and show you, but you won't be able to taste it because it actually absorbs a lot of the sauce. So that is my, I guess you can call it, Dutch potato salad. It is the only potato salad that I will eat. I don't like mustard potato salad, and I most definitely do not like Miracle Whip salad. And I hate hurting people's feelings, but you can't expect me to eat that. So there you go. This is my second video, and you know what? If you have any suggestions for me, go ahead and give them to me, because I'm learning as I go. And tell me what you think. Try making it and tell me if you like it. I'm going to finish stirring this up, put a lid on it, and put it in the refrigerator so I can have some tomorrow, probably for breakfast. Have a good day and stay safe.